Yes. Mr. Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And we are live. Okay. Let me stop sharing that. Let me drop that. Hello and welcome to the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. Okay. And as the title suggests, as a matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat, what is the title? Let's have a look. Let's have a little looky at the cookie. Hold on a second. Hold on. So easy does it, not so previous. Cool down the pace for me. Okay, easy. You're in tune to the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. And what's this show? The original wrap-up show. Do not settle for cheap imitations, which are a mere figment of your imagination. The Rafi take a sip of water, pure water, aqua. We don't need no artificial stimulants up in here. Just pure aqua. Although I might reach for a coffee in a little while, but we'll see how we go. Let's try to keep the system clean. Okay, and what we're talking about tonight, hello and welcome. Talking about it's a Conor Benn situation, and it's the great debate. And the question is Conor Benn guilty or innocent? That's the question we're going to be asking ourselves. But hey, first things first. Let's, for all I know, how long has this been going on? It's going on for 2.5 minutes now. For all I know, you can't hear a damn thing. So let's cut the music and listen. Let's listen. Listen with mother. What's going on? Let's cut the music. I know. How long has this been going on? It's going on for 2.5 minutes now. For all I know, you can't hear a damn thing. Okay, I'm satisfied. With that. So let's bring back the bites. Okay. There they are. Oh, damn. What did I do? You know, I was kind of vexed. Rafi was semi-vexed because, you know, Rafi goes on inspiration of the moment. If this were theater, it would be like the script. We'd have a rough outline of the script, and but then there'd be a lot of improvisation. You know what I'm saying? And just before I went live, I had this song in my head, and it was Gregory Isaacs. I had nothing to do with anything, but it's just in my head. The tune was in my head, and the tune goes, all I need is you, and only you will do. And I was just going around in my head. It's got nothing to do with nothing, but that was a tune in my head. And I thought, let me start the show with that tune, because it just keeps on going around my head. And so I looked for the tune on the YouTube. And normally you can find almost every tune on YouTube, and I couldn't find the damn thing. I could not believe it. It was outrageous. You know, if I looked for it ahead of time, maybe I'd have found it in a mix somewhere. But I cannot believe that tune is not available on YouTube as a standalone. I know it'll be in some kind of mix. But yeah, couldn't find it. But I thought, it was just an afterthought anyway. Let's just get on with the darn thing and do this thing. And I reiterate, the main subject matter of this piece tonight, the original wrap-up show on the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. Don't settle for any cheap imitations. They're a mere figment of your imagination. We're talking about a Conor Benn situation. Where's the thing? Let me share. What am I sharing? I used a different system last week and I come back to this system. I can't remember how to use this system. It's crazy, yo. Utter madness. Okay, let's bring that up so you can see. Is that clear? Is that clear? Is that clear? I'll make it even bigger. Okay. Let's see if you can see what I can see. Okay, I think that's good enough. You all know what it is. Conor Benn been pumped for using a substance called Clomid. Now, the Rafi, hold on a second. How rude of me. Let me drop the invite. Copy that. Paste that. You can see excellente. Okay. Copy that, paste that. So it's in there now. Link is in there now. What am I saying? What was I saying? Oh, okay. So Conor Benn was pumped for a substance called Clomid. Now, fortunately for you, the people of the Raphael, the people of the rdcr, fortunately for you, the Rafi has a bit of a background in the chemicals. Background in the chemicals, that sounds wrong. Let me rephrase that. Fortunately for you, Rafi has a little bit of knowledge pertaining to bodybuilding chemicals. Not because the Rafi's done them, but because the Rafi has done some research over many years. Rafi has looked into these compounds, these chemicals. I don't do chemicals, but I've looked into them. There was a time when the Rafi was trying to, was thinking along the lines of, what do you call that thing? Wellness, the wellness industry, the wellness chemical industry, and looking at compounds, looking at nutrition, looking at substances that could enhance life, enhance fitness, perhaps even enhance life longevity. There was a time when the Rafi would studiously study that area, and that included studying the chemicals, the substances, and through deep study and research, that I realized that there's no such thing as a free chemical lunch. Have I still got that up there? I don't know. It's a pretty picture. It paints a picture. If a picture paints 1,000 words, that's why it's up there. But, let's take that down. So the Rafi did some research. Let's get this right. How do we want this? Okay. So the Rafi did some research, extensive research over a number of years. And that's how I got to know many of these chemicals that pop up in the news. When Big Baby Miller got busted, I knew all of those chemicals. all of those compounds, all of those substances. Raphael already looked into them. Raphael already researched them. And so this compound, which is used for females, female fertility, females trying to get preggers, trying to get up the duff, not having much luck. They take this compound called Clomid. But another use for Clomid is for men who have used have used the chemicals, the chemicals, the special chemicals. They've used the special chemicals in their testes. Please, baby, please, the testes. The testes have shut down. So in these individuals, they want to stimulate the testes. They want to stimulate the testes to start producing testosterone again. Because if your testes close down, shut down after your use of the substances, then it's not going to be good for you as a man when you're not producing testosterone in the quantities, in healthy quantities. So Clomid for men, as I understood it, as I knew it, as it pertains to bodybuilding, is something that you take after a cycle, which then stimulates the testes, baby, please. Stimulates them to start producing again, to start to function again. Because when you take these exogenous substances, they shut down your shizzle. They shut down your shizzle, your shiznicks. So in bodybuilding, that's when they go to the Clomid, get that in a stack. Not just Clomid alone, incidentally. It's a stack. It's a number of things. Clomid being one of them. A number of substances. Clomid being one of them that helps to stimulate the testes. Please, baby, please. So, you can get the full use of your testes. That can return to functionality after being shut down, which is what they happen in bodybuilding when you've been on a cycle of the substances. So I was surprised when I heard that Conor they'd find some of this substance in Conor's system. I was kind of surprised. I said, well, was he on a cycle? It seems strange to me. Was he on a cycle? Because that's crazy. Because if you can get random drug tested, that'd be crazy to be on a cycle. So, or was he just using this substance, Clomid? Was he using this substance as a standalone? It just seemed odd to me because I know the cat is a vegan? Watches what he puts into his system. He's very diligent about what he puts into his system, and I've known this for some time. His dad comes over from Australia, where Nigel Benn lives now, and when his dad comes over from Australia, he's talking about Conor tries to get him eating vegan. And, he wants to continue eating his meat, and he's got him eating vegan. So it just seemed like an oxymoron that Conor would be putting chemicals in his body when he's so careful about what he eats. It didn't make sense to mine. Yeah. The hell is this? Yeah. Go ahead. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. Thank you. So it didn't make sense to mine. But then I found out that he has something in common. He has something in common with Tyson Fury. Then I found out that Conor Benn and Tyson Fury, they share 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. What the hell is this? Are my headphones working? 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Let me check the levels on this damn thing. Check the levels. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay. 1 2. Okay. So So I found out Conor Benn and Tyson Fury share a doctor, and I said to myself, OMG. Okay. Good. Let's have a look. Doing weights boost testosterone. Bulking up like that should have no need to stimulate testosterone growth. Well, yeah. I mean, he's not just doing weights. I mean, he's doing a lot of hours in the gym. So doing weights does boost testosterone, but then on the flip side, there could become a point where you're doing so much in the gym that you could be taxing your systems. And so, you know, if you could stimulate the testes a little bit more, then you could get some more benefit. You know what I mean? Get some more benefit. But like I said, then I found out he shares a doctor with none other than Tyson Luke Fury. His doctor goes by the name of Dr. Usman Sajjad. Dr. Usman Sajjad. We're going to be talking, we're going to be looking at the doctor. Damn. Nothing better than the taste of cold aqua. Cold aqua. Okay. Let's bring him up. Hold on a second. Let's see how many windows we got open. We don't want too many. What's this here? Can we get rid of that? Let me just write this down. Operation. What is that? Operation Tiberius. Anybody know what that is? It's something that Raph is reading up on. It's quite interesting. Into strategic intelligence report. Contents. The scope of the problem, the context, organized crime syndicate synopsis, the internal investigations command response. It's about the Metropolitan Police Service. It says, the opening statement says, the Metropolitan Police Service is currently under serious threat from infiltration by identified organized crime syndicates in North, East, and East London. Operation Tiberius, March 2002. Why is Rafi reading about that? Hey, Rafi's always reading about stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm going to have to shut that down for now and get back to that at a later date, reading through the report. What are we looking at now? Right about now. Let's, as a matter of fact, let's close that down too. Maybe not. Come back to that in a second. But let's get this. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's see if you can see what I can see. And let's pull this up just a little bit. Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what we got? Okay, let's have a quick look, see what people are saying in the chat. Okay, TKO, the RDCR Nation up in the building. Yes. Warp drive activated. We are live. What's going on here? The sheriff knows everything. I shot the sheriff and the deputy. What we got? Junior with a school, that hype job. Well, I expected Junior to win. %60 clean. OMG. Okay. So let's have a little closer look. Let's take a closer look at the doctor. The doctor of Conor Benn won. Dr. Usman Sajid. Dr. UZ Medical. 7,739 followers. 83 following. 833 following. His followers following. He was following. 1,753 posts. But unfortunately, the doctor has shut down his social media. He shut down his social media. What else? Yeah, shut down his social media, Twitter, Instagram. Oh, yeah. And his website. He also had a website which he shut down too. That's Dr. Usman Sajad. Who's that there? Is that Fowler? Looks like Fowler. Or is that Taylor? I don't know. Looks like Fowler to me. That'd be too tall for Taylor. Looks like Fowler. Who's this here? Paddy the Baddie. Is that Paddy the Baddie? From the UFC? Tommy Fury over there. Who's this? Was he inspired? Well, that looks like he was inspired by Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee. Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee. Remember remember Bruce Lee's yellow leotard with a black stripe down the sides? I just realized that one there could be a Enter the Dragon Bruce Lee inspired. Okay, there's Dr. Sajad over there holding on to his bag, his man bag, his merce. That's with Tyson Fury. Here he is with Conor Benn. Here he is with Nathan Gorman. What is this here? He's actually wearing a Gorman. He's actually wearing a Gorman t-shirt. Here he is with innocent Joseph Parker. Fowler. I think that's Fowler. Tommy Fury. Paddy the Baddie. Is this Deja Vu? Who's this? Is that Molly? Is that UFC gal? Molly? Yeah, it is. It says it down there. All the damn names are down the bottom, and Raphael had to do it the hard way. I didn't notice the names are down the bottom, damn it. Molly McCann. Yeah, there she is. Okay. What's going on? There? That ain't lined up properly. Okay. What's going on here? Cal L up in the building. Salute Raphael. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that share button. Hit that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. The doctor has gone AWOL. He's home into hiding by the B sample. OMG. He's hiding in his man cave. OMG. Okay. So let's have a look at the doctor. Let's have a look, see if we can find out the doctor's whereabouts. Okay, so the doctor who has worked with Conor Benn alongside many other pro boxers no longer holds a website or an Instagram account. Dr. Usman Sajad claimed to be helping many fighters on his official webpage until the whole site went offline recently. Okay. An Instagram account with almost 8,000 followers has also seemingly been deleted. Luckily, the Wayback Machine website comes in handy for viewing what sites looked like in the past. It can also tell you the exact time when somebody removed the website. Damn. Okay, so Dr. Uzi's website worked perfectly on October the 4th. Where are we now? October the 10th. Okay, so when was October the 4th? Let's have a look. Let's be going back. We're doing a forensic examination, ladies and gentlemen. Forensic examination, rdcr style. So the 4th of October was the Tuesday. When did we find out about this crapola? When did this blow up? It blew up on the Friday, didn't it? It blew up on the Friday and the fight was on the Saturday. So it was the 7th. It blew up on the Friday. Okay, so it shows that Dr. Remember, the 4th is the Tuesday. Okay. It shows that Dr. Oz had a perfectly working website at 4 p.m. UK time, Tuesday, the 4th of October. That was the day promoters of Ben and Chris Eubank Jr. found out about the newspaper story that planned to leak a failed Nevada drug test. Okay, so that was on the 4th, was it? That was on the 4th. Okay. I don't think most people was aware of it until the 7th, which is the Friday. Maybe the 6th, Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night, Friday morning. Yeah, so the 6:30. Okay. The following morning, the website was no longer active. OMG. It then emerged that Ben had traces of a woman's infertility treatment called clomiphene, commonly known as Clomid, which jeopardized the British boxing grudge match on Saturday night. The promoters are scrambling to save the fight. Okay, we're scrambling. However, the fans are already asking why Ben's doctor no longer has a site at the same time this situation occurs, and why somebody pulled his Instagram. Looking at a version dated October the 4th, less than 24 hours before the story broke, the description of Dr. Uzi's site makes for interesting reading. And it read, having qualified in 2014 from the University of Leeds Medical School, Dr. Usman Shajad completed his junior doctor years at Southport District General Hospital. He then embarked on a career in primary care as he qualified in 2020 as a GP. He has also completed a diploma in sport and exercise medicine, as well as a master's in philosophy from the University of Liverpool. It was well read. With a strong special interest in sports and exercise medicine, Dr. Uz has worked with some of the biggest names in boxing and MMA. They include Tyson Fury, Joseph Parker, Conor Benn, Paddy Pimblett, and many others. He also has a sub-special interest in andropause in men, as he provides testosterone replacement therapy. OMG. OMG. He's one of them doctors. He's one of them doctors. He's one of them. Okay, let's have a look. Dr. Uz as Dr. Uz is also an appointed member of the European Academy of Andrology. Andrology looks like something to do with getting the testes back up to working order after the testes have been depressed, or the testes have experienced some depression in functionality due to exogenous compounds being used in the body of a man for sports primarily for sports purposes, which then shuts down the testes. Baby, please. Andrology. Remember that word. His work timeline details suggest Dr. Oz still works with the England amateur boxing team. OMG. (2015) to current, doctor for England amateur boxing. 2017 to 2018, Everton ladies football team doctor. 2018 to 2020, Widnes Vikings rugby football conference team doctor. India versus Pakistan cricket ICC World Cup crowd doctor. So he's a crowd doctor for the crowd. I hope he wasn't giving testosterone replacements to members of the public in the crowd if they fainted. OMG. Crowd doctor for other concerts, including Britney Spears, Hit Me Baby One More Time, Robbie Williams, and through it all, she offers me protection. Ariana Grande One Love concert. Is that the one that blew up? Hopefully not. OMG, be in the frame for that too. Okay. But now, due to mere images on the website, there's no telling when Uz worked with Ben. Certainly not for this camp anyway. It wasn't with this camp? How do you know it wasn't for this camp? There's nothing whatsoever to indicate that they had contact during the training camp. What it does do is it raises questions on the timing. It raises questions. It does raise questions. What it does raise is questions. What it does raise questions. What it does do is it raises questions pertaining to the timing of the deletion of the information. Adam Eubank versus David Martin Campillo. Chloe Watson, Nancy Franco. Who don't know who the hell are they? Who the hell are they? Galal Yafai versus Gohan Rodriguez Garcia. Felix Cash versus Connor Coyle. Mary Romero versus Ellie Scotney. That wasn't really a stellar undercard. What's going on? Oh, this was on there as well. Was it? Okay, so you had Shannon Courtenay versus Gemma Rueg. You haven't seen Shannon Courtenay for a while. Lyndon Arthur. I haven't seen Lyndon Arthur since he got beat by Yard versus Cesar Reynoso. George Lidal versus Hergvoli Gersic. Okay. Okay. So cancelled. Okay. So that's the story. That's the story of the doctor. The doctor who currently is nowhere to be found. OMG. Let's have a look. Let's have a look in the chat. Contrary to popular belief, the doctor has not gone into hiding. Says the fight doctor. Okay. Okay. Where are we? Doctor himself in the house. Wizard Sleeve's been watching some funny movies. Oh dear. Baboon Boxing says guilty of ruining my Saturday night. That's all I care about. What a chicken. OMG. Or is it Usman Conte? Oh, yeah. Usman, Dr. Usman. And what's that guy's name? Conte. What's his first name? Conte, the American cat, responsible for Clear. Was doping up the American athletics team. Marion Jones, Tim Montgomery. All of them cats was getting it. All them cats was getting it, getting the injections, getting the jabs in the ass. You know what I'm saying? From Conte. What's his first name? His first name eludes me. First name escapes me. What's this here? Someone got a lot of explaining to do. And we're worried. There's going to be some worried boxers out there. I didn't even know Tyson Fury was working with a doctor. Much less this doctor. I know a trick I tell ladies to get the testes back working in order. What's that? The ice pack? Still fuming that the fight got cancelled. Mashed up my whole weekend. OMG. What's going on here? This steroid debacle reminds me of the whole WWF scandal back in the late 90s. Dodgy doctors included, it changed the game. The introduction of the wellness policy emerged. Lots of comments. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button. I'm telling you, this is more than Ben Jr. And the doctor's got a lot of explaining to do. He's got a lot of explaining. What's going on here? Eubank Sr. told of this doc about to inject his knuckles, and he stopped it to avoid dodgy substances. Ben should have known better. Whatever happened? How many fighters using his services have popped dirty? OMG. Big questions. What's going on? I bet there'll be a lot of worried fighters out there. Victor Conte, that's the one. Victor Conte. But in comes the man like a man in the Caribbean, the man called the Iron Kong. The Iron Kong, how do you do?
Peace and blessings, Rafi. So you're having some Birmingham purified water there, some spring, the mountains of Birmingham.
We got fresh from the Evian. What is it? No, fresh from the Malvern Springs. Not too far.
Malvern.
The Malvern Springs, not too far away from Middle Earth, where the Raphael resides. Fresh from the Malvern Springs.
Excellent.
Yeah. So how we doing? How we doing over there? How we doing over there? You heard
Not
the
bad. Not bad, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, I heard, my guy who I've codenamed the ODB, Old Dirty Ben. ODB, my guy is taking, I want to get pregnant pills or whatever he's taking out there, trying to fertilize his ovaries. You know what I mean? Hey, that's how it goes, bro. You know what I mean? You get caught up. No, you gotta explain yourself, or you're gonna have to face a ban, and that's just what it is. You know what I mean? These dudes gotta learn to stop. I don't have time for people doping up in a sport that is already exceedingly dangerous. Boxing is an exceeding. It is, in my opinion, outside of like bare knuckle like kickboxing, this is the most dangerous combat sport there is, because you don't have any escape routes in terms of you get in trouble. Dudes keep punching you all about the head and body. It's not MMA where if you can do other things to get yourself out of trouble.
Yeah.
Boxing is exceedingly dangerous. And if you're a person that is knowingly imbibing substances to make yourself, I don't have any time for you. I see some people might be saying, oh, he might have been given something. Let me tell you something, man. Unless it's something like a tainted supplement where you bought something over the counter and it was tainted by someone from the factory.
Yeah.
You can't help that. You bought a supplement, it was tainted at the factory, you broke the seal, and something you take normal that is legal was tainted. But if your doctor is giving you something, you need to know what's in that something.
Straight.
Because you are under, you take these different drug companies, VADA and UCAD and all of that. You need to know what's in that or whatever. It's like when Billy Joe Saunders popped for his nasal spray.
Yeah.
If I was in the UK, it would have been fine. But you're not in the UK, Billy. You're testing with VADA right now. VADA has different things they look for. UCAD has different things they look for. UCAD, you would have been fine. But you tested on the VADA or WADA.
Yeah.
And that's what you got caught with, because they look for different things.
For real.
If ODB, I'm not quite sure why Old Dirty would have me pregnant pills in his system. But he's gonna have to explain that. All right. I don't have time for nobody who doping up in a sport that has this much risk in it.
Yeah. 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 It's I mean, I was very surprised. I was very surprised because Conor Benn is a vegan fellow. His father spoken about it. His father travels from Australia to stay with him during some of his fight camps. His father, stays. He used to have a flat. Now I guess he's got a house because he's living with his baby mama. He's living with his baby mama, so I guess he got a house now. So his father stays with them. And his father spoken about kind of being vegan and trying to get his dad off meat. Don't want no meat in the house. So he's very, very, very finicky when it comes to his eating, what he puts in his system. So it came as a very big surprise to mine when this thing popped up that he failed a PED test. It came as a big surprise. Yeah, I really didn't expect it of someone who is so finicky about it put in a system. But I guess he's got this doctor. He works with this doctor and the compound Clomid. I am familiar with Clomid from my research into performance enhancers, for wellness, for life enhancers. Raphael done a lot of research into nutrition and compounds. And from what I know of Clomid, it's something the bodybuilders use. Well, I guess not just bodybuilders, but people who have been on a cycle, been taking the juice, and they're gone on a cycle. They're They want to repair themselves. So it's a post-cycle therapy, PCT, post-cycle therapy. That's when Clomid, among other compounds, are used. So it was a surprise to me. I mean, was he on a cycle? But you see, here's the problem with here's the problem with Clomid. Here's the problem with Clomid. Clomid takes 4 months. I want everybody to listen to me keenly. Clomid takes 4 months to come out of your system. So I put it to you, who the hell would be using Clomid when it takes 4 months to come out of your system? Make that make sense.
Didn't the doctor say you got to be an idiot to fail this drug test, a VADA test, because they actually tell you when they're going to come?
Yeah.
The doctor in one of the interviews said you got to fail the drugs test.
Yeah. He did say something like that.
Yeah.
So how the hell is Clomid in the equation when it stays in the system for 4 months?
He has to be the clumsiest ped head in like.
I don't get it. It don't make no sense whatsoever. It stays in your system for 4 months.
Very strange.
Very strange. It's not adding up to me. It's not adding up to me. It's just that it's not something you would use. Let me just do a quick little search. Okay. What such and such is clear the system the fastest? Clear the system the fastest. How long does Anavar? Anavar has a very short half-life of oh my God. Anavar has a very short half-life of only 8 hours, which means the body will get rid of it faster than other compounds with a half-life that can last for a number of days. So you've got certain things that will be in and out of your system within hours. I mean, the half-life is 8 hours, so the full life is what? 16, traces 24. So you've got things that you can have in your system and they will be clear, effectively clear in 24 hours. And then you've got another compound that takes 4 months to clear. It don't make sense to me at all. It don't make no sense. You got substances that can clear your system in 24 hours. And you've got another substance that's in your system for 4 months. And let's not get it twisted. Clomid is not, I don't even want to use the word steroid because it pops up in the algorithm and they don't like it. But you have certain performance enhancing. Clomid is not generally considered a performance enhancing compound. It's a compound that helps you bounce back. I've never really heard of it being used as a performance enhancer. It can be used as a performance enhancer, but then again, I've done my studies, my research back in the day.
Is it a masking agent?
They say you can use it as a masking agent. They say you can use it as a masking agent, but then what's the point in using a masking agent that stays in your system for 4 months?
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I heard what it was, I was just like, this has to be a masking agent because nothing. When I read it, I was like, nothing about this.
Yeah.
Screams PED. Like,
right.
This doesn't seem like a PED on its own.
Right.
So if VADA flags this,
yeah,
what has Clomid or clomiphene been used for? Why VADA has to flag it? Is it in fact been used before as a masking agent?
Possibly.
If VADA flags it, okay, well, let me ask. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not VADA flags every strange substance in your system, or only the things that they find that are illegal for them?
Well, they have a list. They have a list of substances which they believe are either directly PEDs or could potentially be used as masking agents. That's what I'm saying. I'm not reading the website, but that's what I'm saying. But I don't understand why anyone would use Clomid in any way, when it stays in your system for so long. I don't understand. It don't make no sense to me. Just don't make no sense. And so the idea, the notion that the fellow was just popping Clomid pills or clomiphene, it does not make any sense. Don't make no sense. Lazy work from the doctor. Would the doctor have told him? I can pull up right now. Let me just do this for argument's sake. Hold on. How many windows I got? I don't want too many windows. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, let me pull up another window. I don't. How long does Clomid? Let me just do it for your benefit, for the people's benefit, so they can see it. How long is Clomid detectable? How long is Clomid detectable? How long is Clomid detectable in the system? The clomiphene significantly raises serum testosterone, gonadotropin levels in healthy men, thus can be abused as a performance enhancer. Okay, it can be used as a standalone enhancing drug. I didn't really know that. Standalone performance enhancing drug. Such abuse is detectable in urine for up to 4 months following short-term use. Let me bring that up. Let me bring that up on the screen. Paper and site. This is groundbreaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Groundbreaking stuff. You know, not many people get into it as scientific as the Raphael. Not many people show the receipts like the Raphael. Not many people put it right in front of your eyeballs. Conclusion: clomiphene significantly raised serum testosterone and gonadotropin levels in healthy men, and thus can be abused as a performance-enhancing drug. Wow, as a standalone. I didn't really know that. Such abuse is detectable in urine for up to 4 months following short-term use. OMG. So, yeah, I really don't get it. On the other hand, I mean, I'm not trying to tell anybody how to dope. I'm not trying to tell anybody and tip anybody off on how to dope, but there are other compounds that one can use that are in and out of the system very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. So if you wanted to use, then you'd go for one of them. Surely Iron come.
This just seems really like, as you said, it's just really strange. Like, why would you, if you are using it?
Yeah.
It takes 4 months to clear your system. Who in their right mind would put this into their system?
That's what I'm saying.
That's pretty much, that's more than a training camp.
Yeah.
So
it's mad. Makes no sense.
This is, as you said, it's no, you said so.
Yeah.
It just seems so strange.
Makes no sense.
What are you doing? Like, he has to say, pardon, how to get into it, wife's pills drop into your Centrum bottle. I mean, what really going on? Because it takes 4 months to clear your system.
Yeah.
So it's not something that you would use.
No.
It's
not desirable.
It's not. It's exactly. This is not something that is like, oh yeah, let me. That's gonna be your first choice. Obviously, you use that probably when you're out of training camp.
Yeah.
You're trying to do some work or whatever to recover injuries or whatever.
Yeah.
But then when you're in camp, a camp is what, 8 weeks?
Yeah, 8 to 12 weeks.
8 to 12 weeks. That is what, like
2 months to 3 months. 2 months to 3 months. Yeah.
2 months to 3 months. 2 months and some change, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who in their right mind would use something like that that takes 4 months to get out of the system?
Makes no sense.
you know. Hey, you bring this up. I always remember Ben Johnson, right? So Ben Johnson, his doping doctor was actually from St. Kitts.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, his doping doctor. Ben Johnson actually owned a house here. Well, he owned a house here.
Damn.
Huge house.
Damn. Well, another thing about Ben Johnson is that if you actually study documentaries about Ben Johnson and the whole doping thing around him, it's very interesting because some American athletes were busted at that games as well, but the information was suppressed.
Right. No doubt. Including
allegedly,
of course,
one Carl Lewis.
Yeah, I am old enough to remember hearing that Carl Lewis is doping too. Like, and Carl's a very arrogant guy, but he was the American, superstar. He was the one, whatever. But
yeah. At that age, I really didn't suspect Carl. I thought he was what they said. I thought he was what they said he was. Just clean Superman of a man, and it's only
supreme athlete.
Supreme athlete, which he was a supreme athlete.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I never suspected Carl. They sold me a package, and I thought, yeah, that's what he is. But no, in later years, when Rafi started, digging into certain documentaries and whatnot, behind the scenes stuff and whatnot, and it turns out that he was getting a little pep. He was getting a little pep in his step every now and then too. And ironically, there's a documentary out there which says that Ben Johnson got busted for steroids that he actually wasn't taking. So go figure that one out. It's fascinating when you then documentaries are fascinating, man.
It's interesting in sports, right? Everybody likes to act like their generation of athletes were
above reproach,
cleaner than the next, but it's not true.
Yes.
Everybody was trying to do something.
Get an edge.
Just either in their healing, either in the ability to train more. Everybody was trying to do something to get an edge at some point.
Yeah.
In baseball, you had people doing, they call them amphetamines, like it just never ends. People always try to do some sort of supplement and some sort of whatever, and it just is what. But for me, combat sports is something that I just I don't have time for it.
No,
because it's not you're running against somebody. You're not running against somebody. You're not hitting a ball.
You're trying to cause damage.
You're trying to cause damage to people. You see how Conor Benn turned out Chris Algieri like? It's,
Yeah. Yeah.
you understand?
Yeah, I saw that.
So, it is, for me, I don't have time for them things. You know what I mean? I can't rock with them kind of vibes.
No. I can't. Certainly not in boxing. It's always been a part of MMA from the get-go.
Sure.
From the first UFC. Don't make it right. You don't make it right, but it's always been a part of. But the difference is, as you pointed out yourself, the difference is a guy can get away from being hit in the head. He can go down. He can turn it into a wrestling match. He can grapple. So now you're not getting hit in the head so much because you're grappling. Whereas with boxing, there's no getting away from the punches. You can't turn it into a grappling match. In mixed martial arts, you can slip or get away from the grappling, get away from the punching and the kicking, and turn it into a grappling situation. If you're a good enough grappler, if you're a better grappler than the other guy, or just as good as the other guy, so there's some respite from being punched or kicked in the head. But with things like boxing or K1 kickboxing, there ain't much respite. So it becomes, there shouldn't be performance enhancers in any combat sport, but when it comes to pure striking, then it becomes particularly egregious. So like I say, now you look at we look at compounds that exit the body quickly. You have something called Anavar. I need to be careful. I'm not promoting this shit. I'm just saying that there are alternatives, things which come out of the system quickly, such as Anavar has a very short half-life of only about 8 hours, which means your body will get rid of it faster than other compounds with a half-life that can last a number of days. So half-life, the full life, the half-life is half of the life. Full life is like what? Double that. So the full life of the thing, the full life of it being active in your system, its half-life is 8 hours. The full life would be at least 16 hours. That's how long it's active in your system. 16 hours. You could say 24 hours just to be safe, but within 24 hours, it should be out of your system, ideally. Of course, there are various factors at play. If you're lean, the leaner you are, the quicker these things exit your system because you got less fat stores. The more fat stores you have, the longer they linger in your system because they can be found in the fat stores. So, there are variables. And Rafi's in no way endorsing these things. We're merely doing an analysis and saying and questioning. Rafi's questioning why Clomid or clomiphene. I studied this shizzle and it didn't ring right with me from the get-go. When I found out Clomid, what? Why that? And with such a long time, it stays in your system for so long, when it's so detectable in your system for so long. Why it didn't make no sense to me. It didn't make no sense to me. How long does it take for? How long is testosterone? Okay, well, let's have a look at how long there's different ones. Let me find the question. Which WHICH? Where's everything in caps? Come on, man. Stop trying to sabotage the Rafi. WHICH. Which steroids clear the system the fastest? There we go. Anavar. How long does it take to flush? Come on, man. Effects of how man, ask the question. Not give me the answer. Okay, steroid detection times in the urine. Okay, let's go for that. Long-term detection of However, traditional analytical methods. How long can urine test? How long is steroid detection times? Or okay, here we go. Oh, it's gonna be one of them. Nah. This ain't interesting. No. It's just a wall of text. Hold on. List of. Okay. List of. I was just gonna give up, and then I found that section. List of detection times. The following is a list of detection times in alphabetical order. Oh, it's not from. Okay, I can wade through this. I can just pick out. Okay. So, testosterone. Yeah, testosterone can be, if you just take straight testosterone, it can be like what? 1 to 3 days. If it's suspension, there's different types. Propionate could be 2 weeks. Ethionate could be 3 months. Cypionate can be 3 months. There's different types. Turinabol could be 11 to 12 months. That's no good. Winstrol, 2 months. No good. Primobolan, oral, 4 to 5 weeks. No good. Parabolan, 4 to 5 months. No good. We're looking at days. We're looking at ones that last days. Jeez. Anadrol, 2 months. Anavar, detectable potentially up to 3 weeks. Remember, we was talking about up there with a half-life of 8 hours? Yeah. Well, it's potentially detectable up to 3 weeks. Decadurablin, Deca, that's a very popular one, especially back in the day, 17 to 18 months. Dianabol, 5 to 6 weeks, also very popular, 5 to 6 weeks. So we're looking at Anavar, 3 weeks, probably one of the quickest ones out of the system. Masteron, 2 weeks. Masteron, hold on, let me take notes. Let me refresh his memory. Anavar, what is that, 3 weeks? Detectable in urine, 3 weeks. That's the Anavar right there. Dianabol, 5 to 6 weeks. That's way too long. That's too long. Don't even want to deal with that. Masteron.
Hey, you have no bones, bro. You have a good evening, brother.
Hey, it's appreciated. You could stop on by. That was the Iron Kong. I'm on the Caribbean. Iron Kong 26. Thank you. Okay, so Anavar, 3 weeks. Masteron, 2 weeks. Hold on. Let's have a look. Another short, lasting, quick turnaround ones. Suspension, 1 to 3 days. That's super quick. Test sauce. 1 to 3 days. Test probe, 2 weeks. Test, where's the probe? Test probes. Test probe, 2 weeks. Yeah. Okay. So the quickest ones out of the system are Anavar 3 weeks, Masteron 2 weeks, Test Sus or Test Probe up to 2 weeks, Test Suspension 1 to 3 days. But remember, you're gonna have to be seriously microdosing. You're gonna have to be seriously microdosing with them things. We're just putting in tiny amounts per training session, or a few hours before the training session. We're talking about like a tiny little squirt. We're talking about micro dosages there to keep the possibility of detection down. You know what I'm saying? It's a dangerous game. You take a chance. You take a chance of doing that stuff, and you run the risk. You run the risk of ruining your reputation. I mean, is that a risk you really want to take? It's in the record books. Look at Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, permanently and forever, a name forever synonymous with doping. But yet, how many other people were doping around him? How many people doped around him, and their name didn't get called. Americans are doing it, and they kept their names out of it. But the Jamaican living in Canada, when he was winning medals for him, he was Canadian. All of a sudden, when he got pumped for doping, he's a Jamaican. You know what I mean? But the Americans who were doping at the same time, no, keep their names out of it. Palms were greased. Brown paper envelopes were exchanged. And certain people's names got left out of it. But Ben Johnson, his name is forever synonymous with doping. Yeah, and then there's the dangers. Nothing can save you. We know from bodybuilding that long-term use of that shiznix will almost certainly cut your life short. Although, how old is Arnold Schwarzenegger? He's about 71 now. Yeah, he's one of the exceptions, because I guess, being as rich as he was, he stayed on top of the health thing. He had a triple heart bypass by his 50s, I think. He was in his 50s when he had triple bypass surgery for his heart. And ever since then, I guess, he's been on the best medicines, probably on stem cells. He's probably pumping him full of the best universal soldier shiznix known to man. He's been on the best universal shiznix known to man for decades. So yeah, while he was pumping that shiznix in his system from an early age, he was on orals. He was on orals from his teens, from his early teens. So it's a miracle that he's still with us. A miracle, and the fact that you're in shed loads of money, multi-millionaire. So he probably has a checkup every 2 months. He probably has a checkup. With that kind of money, you probably have a checkup every damn week. He can afford it. You know what I mean? Let's have a look. Remember, hit the like button, hit the share button. All the buttons are there for you to show your support. It don't really get forensic like this anywhere else. It don't get more forensic than this anywhere else. The Rafi comes with a wealth of knowledge, then he backs it up with the science, puts it on your screen. There's nothing like this. You know what I'm saying? Not to big up the thing, just telling you the truth. So in all the ways that you can support, feel free to do so. You know what I'm saying? What's going on here? Let's have a look. The substance is banned by VADA and WADA. Well, damn, it's a banned substance. Phil Roberts up in the building. It's a banned substance. Did the doctor prescribe it? It's crazy to me. He ingested some of his wife's facility screen. Well, the thing is this: PEDs don't improve your technique. PEDs don't improve your technique. So whatever technique is technique improved, but can you attribute that to PEDs, or do you attribute that to time spent in the gym with a coachable attitude? See, the thing is, Conor Benn is coachable. That's why I kind of like Conor Benn, because he's coachable, more so than Christopher Eubank Jr. Well, Christopher Eubank Jr.'s never popped dirty. Conor Benn's popped dirty. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's problematic. But the other problem is that the thing he popped dirty for is something that you would not take because of its detection period, its detection rate. It stays in the system for too long. Anavar, 3 weeks. Masteron, 2 weeks. Test suspension, 1 to 3 days. Test propionate, 2 weeks. Clomid, clomiphene, 4 months. You get the picture? It just don't make no sense. But if you're using a masking agent that's illegal, A, illegal, and B, lasts longer in your system than some stuff that you could have been using, what's the point? You'll still get banned for a masking agent as well as the real thing. And furthermore, it actually is a PED in and of itself. You know what I'm saying? I knew that it was used to, my understanding was you use it to help you bounce back after a cycle. But from recent stuff, articles that I've seen, it actually is a PED in and of itself, which... So it's a double whammy. So if it's been used as a masking agent, then it's a masking agent that stays in your system longer than the thing you was trying to mask, in all probability. That's A. That's why it's a problem A. B, it's banned by VADA, WADA. That's a problem too. And C, it's actually a PED in and of itself. So it's like a trifecta. It's like a triple whammy. It's not even a double whammy. It's a triple whammy. He's just wrong all around. And like I said, there are other compounds that you can use that stay in the system for only a fraction of the time. Only a fraction of the time. So it's just not a good thing to use at all. It's not sensible. It's not wise. It's not advisable. Yeah, all that nonsense they did with white, all that B sample, A sample, B sample, that was some bogus. That was some bogus fit up business. Well, they don't do exemptions. It's a bit of a misnomer about them giving out TUEs, testosterone use exemption. They don't really do that. That's very rare, if at all. You know what I'm saying? Testosterone use exemption. It's a bit of a misnomer. Remember they used to say about Joshua, oh, he's got a TUE exemption. Really? Where? Where's the evidence of that? None. They don't even say it no more. They don't even say it no more. Well, I mean, you're talking about Mayweather, I mean, without Pacquiao. How are you going to talk about Mayweather without Pacquiao? How are you going to talk about Mayweather getting backdated exemptions and not talk about Pacquiao moving up the ranks and knocking everybody out until he started getting properly tested and all of a sudden shizzle done change? Shit, come on now. You got to be consistent all the way around the board. All the way around the board. Linford said he was ginseng. Well, I mean, who's to say he was wrong? Who's to say he was wrong? Said he was ginseng. And then went further investigated. Yeah, ginseng has that reading. Boom. I don't know if it was ginseng. I don't know if it wasn't. I wasn't there. I was not there. All sports at it, not just boxing. I think boxing are at it the least because I think boxing is one of the cleanest sports for that kind of stuff, to be honest with you. Because if you get caught in boxing, it's not like sprinting. It's not like sprinting where you shave a second off. You know, you could be shaving years off a man's life. So, you know, it's highly frowned upon in boxing, heavily frowned upon. And also a lot of boxing and boxing coaches and whatnot, they're not very sophisticated when it comes to cutting edge and all the medicals. They're not very sophisticated when it comes to the medicals. The trainers aren't very sophisticated when it comes to the medicals in boxing. In athletics, in track and field and all that shizzle, very sophisticated. Boxing, not so much. Not very little sophistication. They're still just figuring out how to weight cut healthily in boxing. Boxing's it's always been in the dark age when it comes to the cutting edge of the medicals, the medical aspects of things. That's what I found. Tone talking about his raving days. His raving days. What did he caught doing though? I mean, is it legit? Is it legit? I mean, this is the great debate. I guess I'm debating myself. Who am I debating with? I guess I'm debating myself. I guess, you know, it's a yin and yang. It's a yin and yang thing. It's a yin and yang thing. Yeah. I think I did go on to explain that the half-life is not half of the life. It's a percentage of the life. Yeah. So you've explained it even further still, and that's all cool and the gang. Very good. Very good. Half-life 8 hours equals 50%, 16 hours 25%, 24 hours 12%. It can be detected for quite some time, depending on how much you took. Depending on your metabolism, depending on how much water you're drinking, depending on how much body fat you're carrying. There are a number of factors which vary the time that it'll take to leave the body. Yes. Bruce Gas up in the building. Baboon Boxing up in the building. I personally know all of the pages speaking of. Yeah, very good, very good, very good. Yes, I'm familiar with them myself. Never taken them, but I have done extensive research into them. I've worked extensive research. Anwar is the winner. Yeah, well, Anwar is the winner. Can be out of your system in 3 weeks. Actually, Masteron can be out of there in 2 weeks, so I might go with the Masteron. I say don't take none of them. Don't take none of them because they can easily shave significant time off one's life. Yeah, oil-based and water-based for sure. For sure. Let's have a look. Yeah, for sure. Mr. Dawkins, do you find Ben innocent? That's a damn good question. That is a damn good question. I'm leaning towards, well, perhaps that's a question for a poll, and then perhaps I should give you my conclusion at the end of the show. But certainly, it's a very good question, and certainly that should be a poll. Based on the evidence provided. Based on the evidence provided, do you find Ben innocent? Innocent, guilty. Innocent, guilty. Yet to be undecided. Yet to be determined. Yet to be determined. Yeah. Ask the people. Ask the people. Ask the people. Okay. And we are joined by none other than the Bruce Gas.
Bruce Gas. Bruce Goes retired. Bruce Gas.
Bruce Goes is out of here. It's Bruce Gas. Now talk to me, Bruce. Start where you want to start. Talk to me.
Pleasure to join you, my brother. Pleasure to join you. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself. For the last 30 years of my life, I was in the nutritional supplement field. I've dealt with bodybuilders. I've dealt with strength athletes. I've dealt with boxers. I've dealt with anabolic steroids. I know all the steroids you're talking about. I've done several cycles. I've done Clomid. Clomid is very, very common after cycles. It's called post-cycle therapy. It's almost mandatory because see what happens is when you're taking artificial steroids, when you're taking testosterone, it's flooding your body with artificial testosterone. So it signals, the body, the endocrine system is a beautiful thing. It's a 50-50 balance. When your body produces more testosterone, it evens it off by producing more estrogen. So it doesn't get out of whack. But when you're putting in the artificial testosterone, your body doesn't have to produce any estrogen. It's signaled where it doesn't need to. It's got enough estrogen in the body. So what happens is when you stop taking a cycle, the estrogen floods your body, and that's when you need an estrogen suppressor. The users take Clomid, they take HCG, and even clenbuterol is very popular to get your system jacked up again. But I mean that's in itself. Clomid is not an anabolic steroid. It's a prescription medication. It's given to women for infertility. It's also given for women with breast cancer because it suppresses estrogen, which is a growing field for breast cancer. And it's a very common thing. I don't know any serious steroid users who haven't taken it after a cycle. So it just kind of tells you that it's like the tip of the iceberg. You know there's something went on before that. Most people that use steroids, they'll take 2 to 3 cycles a year. They let their body clean out, and like you said, there are different types that stay in the system longer, like the oil-based, the cypionates, the different esters. They stay in the body longer. Where the water-based, like the Anavar, the Sustanon, they leave the body quicker, and they don't leave the telltale traces that the norandrostene, the Deca 19. They're oil based. Like, see, right now I'm on what they call hormonal replacement therapy because I'm 68 years old, and see, testosterone's a very important part of life. It regulates cholesterol, blood pressure, liver functions, different things like that. And as you get older, the pituitary gland particularly doesn't produce the testosterone. So I take this right here. This is testosterone cypionate.
Okay.
That's the gold seal. That's what the bodybuilders want, the weight training athletes, not so much the boxers when they're tested, because like I said, it's an oil-based, it stays in longer. But see, the downside of those water-based steroids is they hurt.
Oh.
They if you don't get it deep into the muscle, they hurt. The oil-based, they tend to kind of acclimate to the muscles and to the blood system. But I mean, and the downside, like I was saying, man, see, steroids in sports are relatively new, the last 40 years or so. But see, what they're finding out now is the long-term ramifications of taking these things, where you're seeing guys like Dorian Yates, kidney conditions, looks like a shell of himself. Like Arnold, he had to have that triple bypass. Nasser El Sanabate, dead at 40. I mean, I just had a friend of mine pass away. He was a big YouTuber. His name was Jerry Ward.
Yeah.
Jerry was like one of my best friends 15, 20 years ago when he was in Rhode Island. And and Jerry got off the juice. Jerry was a natural bodybuilder for the last several years.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Jerry was a garbage can. Jerry would do anything. He just wanted to get big. He wanted to be as big as Dorian Yates. And I mean, what steroids do, they not only make the muscles bigger, but they make the internal organs bigger too. So you have the enlarged heart. You have a fatty liver, different things that go on internally, and they're finding that out now. So a lot of these guys who they look like gods up on the stage, they look like gods, and they're broken down. Like I said, a lot of them are dead. When they take this thing called human growth hormone, I'm sure you've heard of that.
Yeah.
Well, see that you have to take insulin with that when you take human growth hormone, and a lot of these guys who played with it, they're insulin dependent at 30 years old now. They're fucking diabetic. It's a real ugly thing, and it seems to bounce around from sport to sport. It started with bodybuilding, and then it went to football, and then baseball had their steroid era, and I guess they saw boxing as fertile territory. So these people like the Victor Contis of the world, they can get involved with boxing. They tell boxers, listen, man, this is going to improve hand-eye coordination. This is going to make you stronger. This is going to give you endurance. And dude, when you're signing $700, $800 million contracts, you say, that's not a bad idea. And you got these gurus who will give you these cleanses and these things, masking agents, because there's big money in this shit right now. I mean, it's not fucking going to GNC and buying a bottle of strip. These are very, very expensive, well put together chemicals. Yeah. I mean, it's a fucking industry. It's a cottage industry in boxing, and it's sad. I don't know how they're going to clean it out. I've been involved in producing bodybuilding shows, so I know about drug testing. I know how people can get away with it. It's not an exact science, but you got to be really vigilant. You have to take monitor urines right after the contest. It's a tough thing, but until boxers realize the ramifications they're playing with their fucking health, then it's going to be tough to get these guys. You get these well-timed cycles where the only reason Conor Benn got caught is because he was taking that post-cycle drug, and they found that in his system.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's a fucked up world, brother Rafi, man.
Yo, it's crazy, yo, because I mean the bodybuilding thing, I mean, I was never into the drugs element, but lifting weights, I mean, I'm just a natural all the way. I'm just the all the way natural guy. I'm just naturally natural. You know what I'm saying? I have an aversion to chemicals, even medicines. I have an aversion to. I'm just a homeopathic type of guy. So
am I, brother.
But I've always researched. I've always researched the PEDs. I've always kind of stayed researching the PEDs just to find out what's out there, what they do. And at one point, I was researching it for longevity, you know, for wellness. And then that's when I found out, hold on, there's no such thing as a free chemical lunch. There's a price to pay for every chemical. You know, there's just no free. There's no passes with these chemicals. If you go on testosterone, then your body stops producing it. So now you rely on it. You know what I'm saying? It's not in addition. It just replaces it. So then if you want to come back, then it's a whole different procedure you have to go through. So I thought, oh, damn, really? Is it like that? You know, if I was born in this era, you know, maybe if I was born in this era, then maybe I could have slipped into it. But the era I was born in, you couldn't just go on your computer and type in some stuff and then give your credit card details and get sent some bogus shizniks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah. You know, you saw the guy in the gym, and that's the guy who sold the roids. That's the guy who wrote out your cycles. Not only did he sell steroids, but he's also selling coke. He's selling heroin. He's selling painkillers. He's selling ketamine. Because the people who cheat, they're not going to worry about shit like that. They're pretty much garbage cans. They're taking almost anything, and it's rampant. It's wild. When I was training clients, I'm going to say almost 50% of the people in the gym were taking something, and not nutritional supplements, illegal anabolic steroids.
Yeah.
You know, you'd go in the bathroom, you'd see syringes there, you'd see toilet paper with blood on it, you know, things like that, telltale signs. But I mean, and this is only in a fucking gym where guys are going out Saturday night and they want to look good. You know, this is not a multi-million-dollar boxer. So it's a dangerous and deadly world out there, and you know they have to get a grasp on it. They have to do something about it, because it's gonna run its cycle. You're gonna see boxers die in the ring. You're gonna see, you know, it's gonna be ugly, and then it'll probably move to some other sport. But I think I don't like what I'm seeing.
No, I don't like it. I think with boxing, I think there's too much. There's if you get caught, there's too much of a stigma. Well, not too much of a stigma. I think what will stop a lot of people is the stigma, because if you get caught doping in boxing, it's not like sprinting where you get a 2-year ban and everything's hunky-dory when you come back. It's not like that. It's like, it's a very big stigma. So for someone to even try that in boxing, it's the stigma alone, I think, is one hell of a deterrent in boxing. The stigma doesn't leave you.
Look at the baseball players, bro. Look at Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
I mean, these were great athletes, Hall of Fame players, and now they're just considered drug users. They're not eligible for Hall of Fame. And believe me, if you took all the drugs out of sport, the top athletes are still going to be the top athletes.
Yeah, exactly. Like the cyclist, what's his name? Lance Armstrong. Everybody was doing it. Everybody was doing it. So, you know, I mean, it doesn't make it right, but then does it make it wrong if everybody's doing it? If everybody's doing, I mean, there's an argument to say that with cycling, it's healthier to do it on something than off something. There's an argument to say it's healthier to do it with the guys microdosing. I mean, it's a tortuous. The Tour de France is a tortuous thing to do. You know, I was into watching them things when I was a kid. You know, the Tour de France, and there's a great American film about this kid who wanted to go on the Tour de France, and he used to deliver newspapers. He was out there in the Midwest somewhere. I can't remember the name of the thing, but I watched that film as a kid, and You know, as a kid, you know, you're on your bike, you dream of the Tour de France.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're going fast. You say, yeah, I can do the Tour de France. I'm ready for these shiznicks. But you're not. And if you do the Tour de France, you're probably better doing it on something. It's probably healthier doing it on something, a little bit of EPO.
I don't know. I'm not qualified there, but see, yeah. It's just so easy to get. It's glamorized. It's here to stay until from the top they get it out. They have to do more stringent testing, and that includes hair follicles. That includes lie detector tests. I mean, but they just want to give a urine test. It could be doctored. They're always looking for the B sample. The B sample should be right there. When you test the A sample and it comes up dirty, you test the B sample to make sure that there was no messing up with the chain of command with the sample. But it's boxing is right for it because boxing never had this problem, and right now they're trying to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah, for real. Bruce goes. We've reached the time limit. You know, the Rafi's got work in the morning, and we like to keep this thing nice and concise. So much appreciation for you stopping by and dropping in. And anytime you're passing through, feel free to drop in.
God bless you, my brother. Peace.
Peace out to you, my friend. And that was the Bruce Goes. Much appreciation for him to drop in with his kind of with his level of his knowledge of the topic. Clearly he knows about his PEDs and he's on TRT therapy himself, so definitely good to have his contribution as well as the Iron Kongs earlier on. What we got here? She's biz up in the building. We got the chat. What else we got? Why the hell would I rerun the vote? Raphael Dawkins, if you rerun the vote using the wording in your new reel, I bet the results will be different. Why'd I rerun the vote? Good input. Absolutely. Well, let's have a look what the results are. I don't know what the results are. Let's go. Based on the evidence provided, do you find Ben innocent? Well, as a matter of fact, let's close this down. And let's get this on up over here. Paste. Okay. Boom. Bruce goes. Feels that Conor is guilty. Let's see what the rest of the people feel. Shame I couldn't vote on it myself, but I'm excluded. I'm excluded from the vote. Okay. So, based on the evidence provided, do you find Ben guilty? 44%. Yet to be determined? 44%. Innocent? 11%. Well, that's the question. Why would I want to skew it anyway? Why would I want to skew it? That's the question. That's a reasonable question. I think it's the question posed is balanced. It's not skewed in any way, and the people have responded as they see fit. So I think that's perfectly appropriate, based on the evidence provided and the evidence that you know. Do you find Ben guilty? 44% find him guilty. Yet to be determined. 44% say yet to be determined. Innocent, 11%. I think if you pop dirty, then you have to have a percentage feeling that he's guilty because he popped dirty. So it's only fair that certain people will say, well, he's guilty because he popped dirty, and that's fair. However, when I look at the compound itself, and I look at the detection rate, it stays in your system for up to 4 months, I say, well, no, No, you're not going to do that. An intelligent person who's done a modicum of research is not going to do that. So then that leads me towards innocent. So I lean towards innocent. But then you want to hear it from the guy, you want to hear it from the doctor, you want some external information so you can come to a final determination. So I want to hear it from Ben. I want to hear from his doctor. Right about now, I find it difficult to believe that an intelligent person who did a modicum amount of research would have took that shiznix. So I'm leaning towards innocent. It seems absurd to me. Absurd. So I'm leaning towards innocent, but I want to hear from the parties concerned. I want to hear from Ben, and I want to hear from his doctor. Clomiphene? Clomid? Why would you take that? It's all very bizarre to me. All very bizarre. On the evidence, guilty. I went with guilty. Stigma. Playing Russian roulette with your life. Yeah, all of that stuff, but although I find that, from what I know about the shiznix, then the microdosing, if you're going to do it, which you shouldn't, but if you're going to do it, then microdosing is the way forward. Tiny, minute amounts is the way forward. Just the tiniest amount. I'm not advocating it. I say don't do it. But I'm saying the minute amounts that I would be, if I was some kind of mad guru, and I was administering that shiznix, it'd be minute amounts, micro-dosing, micro. So the chances of falling dead would be minimal. But then, some people don't take too well to those kind of compounds. Some people have family histories, which would mean that if they touch any of that stuff, family medical histories would mean that they'd be more likely to suffer harm than the next man. So anytime you touch that stuff, it's a game of Russian roulette. Why else would the substance be in his body? Well, cross-contamination is there. There have been. Okay, that's a good question. There have been established cases of supplement companies putting shizzle. Okay. There have been cases of supplement companies putting steroids in their supplements. So that's not hypothesis. That's the reality. There have been companies out there who have been fined for putting anabolic agents in their supplements. That's a fact. So what you have to do is then say, I believe it was this supplement. You name the batch, you name the product, the batch. If you still have some left, you can send it off to the agency concerned. They can test it, and there have been times when those things have come back positive. There have been times when companies have been fined, large established companies. Okay, I'll name it. Gaspari, Rich Gaspari. Okay, let's go. Let's go deeper. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, got a lot of windows open. Let's drop some of them down. Okay. Gaspari. Nutrition. Gaspari Nutrition. Find. Steroids. Okay. Okay, let me share this. See, Rafi likes facts. Facts. F-A-X. Facts. Should have been closing the show down. You know, Rafi gives you too much goodness. The Rafi gives too much goodness, you know, for free. Okay, right. So Gaspari Nutrition. Okay, so Gaspari. Who is Gaspari? Okay, Rich Gaspari. Let's go all the way in. No Bruce Goes knows this cat. Rich Gaspari. Images. Okay, so let's share. Let's drop that for a second. Who was Rich Gaspari? Okay, so Rich Gaspari was this cat here. You see him younger in his bodybuilding days, and you see him later after he's retired. Okay, that's Rich Gaspari. He was a top bodybuilder. American, New York. Was it New Jersey? New York, New Yorker. Okay, that's Rich Gaspari. That's who Rich Gaspari is. Okay, so let's come out of that. After he retired, hold on, where are we? Okay, after he retired, he started up his own supplement company, designing supplements for the people. Okay. However, and he was good quality, known for good quality supplements. However, Novadex XT, this bodybuilding supplement sold by Gaspari Nutrition, was recalled in 2010 because it contained an anti-estrogen compound. Researchers purchased the product in 2013 and tests showed it contained an anabolic steroid and an anti-estrogen compound. So basically, what was the question? Where was the question? Why would a substance be in his body? Okay, that's how you can get substances in your body. Gaspari Nutrition was and is a top-rated supplement company, but yet they were found to be putting steroids and anti-estrogen compounds in a supplement. And that is not an isolated incident. I'm not saying it happens every day, but it's not isolated incidents. Underneath that, you have tainted supplements sold after recalls. So tainted supplements, there are incidents of them being sold, tainted supplements being sold after recalls. USA Today. What's the date on that? 2021. So yeah, it's crazy, yo. It's crazy, yo, that shizzle does happen. Has that happened in that case? I don't know. How can he not be guilty? Well, boom. That's how I just showed you how he might not be guilty. Yet to be determined. Yeah, absolutely. I thought you would. There you go. Yeah, and more recently, you got Blackstone Labs. You got the owners of Blackstone Labs now in jail for the very same thing. And I think their cases were much more recent. Yep, indeed. It may not be an isolated incident. But neither is it evidence. Is what evidence? Neither is what evidence? The only evidence we have so far is that he's failed a test. That is correct. Great show, Rafi, the rdcr Nation panel. Yes, yes, yes. So we've gone over time, but I've demonstrated to you one way in which he might be innocent. Is he innocent? Is he guilty? I don't know. I just find it difficult to believe that such an error could be made, ingesting something that stays so long in your system. Very, very crazy. Very, very crazy. A failed test is well, it may or may not be the best evidence, because if it turns out that he identifies a product which he took which could cause that reading, then it will not be the best evidence. Do you know what I'm saying? Right about now, it seems like good evidence. But if he has a counter argument and can back it with a product that is also tainted, then that changes the equation. Am I banking on that? No. He might just be guilty. But I just find it difficult to believe that such a schoolboy error would be made at such a high level of the sport. I find it difficult to believe. That doesn't mean that it's impossible. What I'm saying is there are still questions. There are still questions. That is not evidence. What is not evidence? You need to start speaking in full sentences. That is not evidence. What is that? What is that? There you go. Boom. Now you know. Belle Biv DeVoe. Okay. So there you have it. It's the Raphael Dawkins. We've looked at this thing thoroughly. We've had the great debate, different points of view. Fantastic. I hope I've put forward my point of view that, hey, this thing ain't a slam dunk. There's still questions out there. I hope that I've managed to sow the seed of doubt in your minds. Maybe you now feel that there are questions. Your questions are not evidence. Who said my questions are evidence? Listen, man, you're talking a load of crap. If you want to have a debate, press the damn button. The link is there. Boom, boom, boom. The link is there. Get on here and have a bloody conversation. Instead, you're coming up with nonsensical statements, incomplete sentences, which are hard to discern. You know what I'm saying? You're saying, oh, you said this, you said that. Oh. If you want to have a bloody debate, press the bloody link. Stop wasting my time with these little half sentences. You know what I mean? Like you did something or like you said something, some deep and great consequence. No, you just come up with a half sentence, which is hard to figure out what the hell you're trying to say. Speak in full sentences. Anyway, back to my monologue. I hope I presented you arguments and shown you evidence with the Gaspari case. There's a Blackstone's lab case of contaminated products. There should be arguments there. Hopefully, I produced arguments that would make you think, is this a slam dunk? Or are there still questions to be asked? You be the judge. What's going on here? He's guilty. Yeah, he might be. You don't read the longer sentences. Well, get on the bloody live then, instead of doing these little half sentences which make no bloody sense. Let them try that excuse in court. Bottle mixed up because they look similar. Well, it's not the bottle mixed up. I've just shown you that companies have made supplements which contained steroids and anti-estrogens. I've just shown you that. What I'm saying is that if he can produce a supplement, a batch number that he bought that might be might be the culprit, might be the guilty culprit. How he got something in his system that he did not directly put in his system. If he can demonstrate that, if he can pull out that tub of whatever, that tub of whichever supplement, if he can produce that, and it's found to be contaminated, it's found, oh, this was the this is where the contamination took place. If he can produce that, then that explains that. If he can't, then yay. That's a different matter, isn't it? What I'm saying is I hope I have given you sufficient food for thought. You can say, oh, okay. You may be guilty. You may not be guilty. Yet to be determined. For me, it's yet to be determined. I think that was an option, yet to be determined. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm with the 44% that says yet to be determined. But anyway, hopefully, either way, it's been food for thought. It's the user's responsibility to be sure what he's taking. Yeah, that's true. But if you read the instructions and it doesn't say, oh, by the way, there's some steroids in this, and you take it and you pop dirty for steroids and you can produce that, then that acts as a mitigating factor in court because it wasn't on the list of ingredients. You can go to a supplement company later in civil suit. Yes, indeed. Guilty of ruining my weekend, ban him, or else only test him after the fight. Ban him or test him after the fight. You gotta test before the fight too. That's the way it works. But anyway, it's been a scintillating conversation. Raph, you got to get out of here. We got work in the morning. We got things to do. I can't idle. I can't slack. I ain't got time for that. Okay. But, hey, it's been the Raphael Dawkins. It's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comments, it's the shares. And it's the food for thought. And we are out. Definitely a fun show. Peace. Blessed.